Across our planet, hidden beneath dense jungles, buried under shifting sands and submerged beneath the ocean's waves, lie the remains of lost civilizations, once vibrant centers of life, trade, and culture, now silent witnesses of time. These are the forgotten cities that once shaped our world, silent witnesses to ages of brilliance and decline. Once filled with laughter, music, and the hum of daily life, they now rest beneath layers of dust and mystery. Towering walls crumble into sand, temples sleep beneath tangled roots, and streets once alive with merchants and travelers are now reclaimed by silence. Each ruin tells a story of human ambition and ingenuity, of creation and destruction, of dreams built in stone and then swallowed by time itself. These places remind us that no civilization, no matter how powerful or advanced, is immune to the slow erosion of history. Join us as we journey beyond the surface of the modern world, across continents, deserts, and forgotten jungles, to rediscover the lost cities of the world and unveil the secrets of the people who once called them home. Our first stop is Petra, Jordan, often called the Rose City for the soft pink and red hues of its sandstone cliffs. Hidden deep within the desert, this ancient city remained lost to the world for centuries, its existence remembered only in whispers and legends. As you journey through the narrow canyon known as the Seek, the towering rock walls rise dramatically around you, carved smooth by wind and time. Then suddenly the passage opens, and before you stands the treasury known as Al-Khazneh. Its facade, nearly 40 meters high, is carved entirely from the mountain itself. Columns, statues, and intricate patterns all chiseled by hand more than 2,000 years ago. Bathed in soft sunlight, it almost glows against the rose-colored stone, a masterpiece that blends Greek-inspired architecture with Nabatean artistry. Legend says the treasury once held priceless treasures of ancient kings, though its true purpose remains a mystery, perhaps a royal tomb, perhaps a temple. Beyond its beauty, Petra was a thriving city of trade and innovation, famed for its advanced water system that allowed life to flourish in the desert. Today, the treasury stands as a silent guardian of Petra's past, a timeless symbol of human creativity, endurance, and wonder. Our journey continues high in the Andes Mountains of South America, where clouds drift across ancient stone terraces and the echoes of history linger in the mist. Here lies Machu Picchu, the legendary lost city of the Incas, a place of breathtaking beauty and mystery. Built in the 15th century, Machu Picchu was a royal retreat and ceremonial site, hidden among the peaks nearly 2,500 meters above sea level. Its walls of precisely cut stone fit together so perfectly that even a blade of grass cannot slide between them, a testament to the Incas' incredible engineering skill. The city remained untouched by the Spanish conquest and eventually forgotten by the outside world. It wasn't until 1911, when American explorer Hiram Bingham ventured into the Peruvian mountains, that Machu Picchu was revealed to the modern world. What he found was a masterpiece of architecture and nature, perfectly balanced between earth and sky. Surrounded by mist and mystery, Machu Picchu stands as one of humanity's greatest achievements, a place where stone, spirit, and landscape unite in perfect harmony. Its beauty feels timeless, as if nature and human craftsmanship conspired to create something eternal. Even after centuries of silence, this mountaintop city continues to inspire wonder and reflection, reminding us of the ingenuity, devotion, and vision of those who built it so high above the clouds. In the heart of Cambodia stands Angkor Wat, a vast temple complex surrounded by jungle and shimmering moats. Built in the early 12th century by King Suryavarman II, it was dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu and designed as a symbolic representation of the universe. The 5 central towers rise like stone lotuses from the earth, mirroring the sacred peaks of Mount Meru, while the temple's long corridors are covered in intricate carvings that tell stories of gods, warriors, and celestial dancers. Every detail reflects extraordinary precision and devotion. The alignment of its towers follows the path of the sun, and at dawn, the rising light paints the stone in gold. Over time, Angkor Wat became a Buddhist sanctuary, blending centuries of belief into one sacred space. When the Khmer Empire declined, the jungle slowly crept in, wrapping its roots around silent walls. Yet Angkor Wat never truly vanished. It endures as a monument to human creativity and spiritual ambition, its towers still standing as they have for nearly 1,000 years. In the quiet countryside outside Guiyang lies the village of Xiashui, where a massive figure emerges from the rock face, a towering Buddha carved into the living stone, overlooking the flowing waters of the Shalao River. This giant sculpture rises nearly 50 meters high, its gaze fixed across farmland and stream, its presence rooted in both landscape and legend. Local tradition says the image was created to protect the villagers and their fields from the flooding currents of the river, channeling faith into stone and transforming water's threat into a symbol of calm. The rock around the statue bears the wear of centuries of wind, rain, and river mist. Here, devotion and environment combine. The river below, the farmland at its feet, the steep hills behind. The carved Buddha stands not just as art, but as a guardian, a sentinel of stone watching over life shaped by water, earth, and time itself. In the vast silence of the Arabian desert, where golden dunes stretch to the horizon, rise the monumental tombs of Hegra, an ancient city carved from sandstone cliffs and shaped by the winds of time. Hidden for centuries beneath layers of history, these structures stand as the last great legacy of the Nabatean civilization. the same people who built the city of Petra far to the north. Dozens of monumental tombs line the desert plain, their facades etched with intricate carvings and crowned with symbols of power and faith. Each was cut directly into the rock, a permanent resting place for the city's elite. Though built in the 1st century, their crisp lines and perfect symmetry remain, untouched by centuries of shifting sand. The solitude here is striking. No sound but the whisper of the wind and the call of the desert. Once a thriving crossroads of trade and culture, Hegra now stands in stillness, a haunting reminder of how even the greatest civilizations leave their echoes in stone. Recognized today as Saudi Arabia's first UNESCO World Heritage Site, Hegra endures as a breathtaking monument to the artistry, ambition, and spiritual depth of a people who turned the desert itself into a masterpiece. Deep within the rainforests of northern Guatemala rises Tikal, an ancient city once hidden for centuries beneath a canopy of green. Massive temples pierce through the jungle mist, their stone steps reaching toward the sky like stairways to the heavens. Birds call through the thick air, howler monkeys echo in the distance. Nature has reclaimed what was once one of the greatest cities of the Maya civilization. At its height, Tikal was a thriving metropolis of power, art, and astronomy. Towering pyramids, ceremonial plazas, and royal palaces formed the heart of a city that connected distant kingdoms through trade and conquest. Its rulers built monuments aligned perfectly with the movements of the sun and stars, using the heavens as their guide. When Tikal fell around the 9th century, the jungle began its slow work of concealment. For nearly 1,000 years, the city slept beneath vines and roots, its temples buried in silence. Rediscovered in the 19th century, Tikal reveals a glimpse into a civilization that mastered both science and spirit. Standing among its towering ruins today, one can still feel the weight of history and the quiet strength of a people whose legacy endures in stone, forest, and sky. Along the southeastern coast of India, where the Bay of Bengal meets golden sands, stands Mahabalipuram, an ancient city of stone that whispers stories of gods, kings, and time itself. Here the rocks are not merely shaped by nature, but transformed by human devotion into temples, sculptures, and sanctuaries that have endured for more than 1,000 years. Here the rocks are not merely shaped by nature, but transformed by human devotion into temples, sculptures, and sanctuaries that have endured for more than 1,000 years. Built during the 7th and 8th centuries under the Pallava dynasty, Mahabalipuram was a thriving seaport and a center of art, architecture, and faith. Its monuments were carved directly from solid granite, grand temples that rise from the earth, intricate cave shrines filled with mythological carvings, and the famous shore temple that watches endlessly over the sea. When the tides crash against the rocks, they seem to echo the rhythm of ancient chisels that once shaped these sacred forms. Time and salt have weathered the stone, yet every sculpture still radiates a sense of grace and balance. Mahabalipuram is more than a city of temples. It is a vision of human imagination etched into the landscape, a place where myth and history blend seamlessly, and where each carving stands as a testament to India's timeless devotion to art, spirituality, and beauty. High in the remote mountains of western Tibet lies Saparang, a forgotten city carved into golden cliffs that overlook the barren valleys of the Himalayas. Once the thriving capital of the ancient Gujay kingdom, it now stands in haunting silence, a labyrinth of caves, tunnels, and temples carved directly into the mountainside. More than 1,000 years ago, this was a center of art, trade, and Buddhism, a place where monks illuminated manuscripts and painted vivid murals that still cling to the crumbling walls. Palaces once crowned the ridges above, rising toward the endless sky, their whitewashed walls gleaming under the high-altitude sun. When the kingdom fell in the 17th century, Saparang was abandoned, left to the winds and the sands of time. The monasteries grew quiet, the murals faded, and the mountain slowly reclaimed its creation. Today, Chaparang remains a world suspended between earth and heaven, a city sculpted from the desert rock, echoing the devotion and brilliance of a civilization long vanished. Standing among its ruins, one can feel both isolation and peace, as if time itself has paused to remember the dreams of the Guj kings who once ruled these sacred heights. At the summit of a lonely mountain in southeastern Turkey stands Mount Nemrut, a place where stone giants watch the sunrise over an ancient kingdom. Nearly 2,100 meters above sea level, colossal statues of gods, eagles, and lions surround a vast burial mound, silent guardians of a forgotten ruler's dream. Built in the 1st century BCE by King Antiochus Harunar of Commagene, Mount Nemrut was designed as both a tomb and a monument to divine kingship. The site combines Greek, Persian, and Anatolian influences, a fusion of cultures that reflected the king's vision of unity between East and West. Each statue once stood proudly, their faces turned toward the horizon to greet the rising sun. Over centuries, earthquakes toppled them, leaving the great heads scattered across the mountaintop, a haunting image of fallen divinity beneath an endless sky. When dawn breaks, the first light touches the ancient stone, and the mountain glows gold and amber, just as it did 2,000 years ago. The silence feels sacred, as if the gods themselves still linger here, watching over the rugged landscape below. Mount Nemrut remains a place of mystery and reverence, a timeless monument to human ambition, faith, and the desire to be remembered among the stars. Hidden in the rugged mountains of southwestern Turkey lies Pınara, an ancient Lycian city where history and nature intertwine. Its ruins are scattered across steep cliffs, hidden among ancient trees and overlooking the valley below. Time and silence have claimed it, yet its beauty remains untouched, wild, mysterious, and serene. Pınara was once a flourishing city of the Lycian League, known for its distinctive rock-cut tombs carved high into the limestone cliffs. These ancient burial chambers, some resembling small temples, seem to defy gravity as they cling to the sheer rock face. Below them, the remains of a theater, agora, and temples still whisper of a time when the city was alive with music, trade, and ceremony. The name Pınara is said to mean round, a reference to the circular hill around which the city was built. From its heights, the view stretches endlessly, pine forests, ancient stones, and distant mountains fading into the horizon. Over the centuries, earthquakes and the slow passage of time brought silence to Pınara, but its spirit endures. Today, the city stands in peaceful solitude, a forgotten jewel where nature and history exist in perfect harmony, a place that feels less like a ruin and more like a dream carved into the mountains of Lycia. On the western banks of the Nile, where the golden sands of the Sahara meet the deep blue of the river, stand the monumental temples of Abu Simbel, two colossal sanctuaries carved directly into the rock more than 3,000 years ago. The Great Temple, dedicated to Pharaoh Ramses II, greets visitors with four immense seated statues, each over 20 meters high. Time has spared most of them, though one lies broken at the base of the cliff, its fallen face a quiet reminder that even the mightiest rulers could not escape the power of nature. Inside, vast chambers stretch deep into the mountain, their walls covered with carvings that celebrate the pharaoh's victories and devotion to the gods. Twice each year, sunlight pierces through the temple's entrance to illuminate the innermost sanctuary, a feat of perfect alignment and astronomical precision. When the rising waters of the Aswan High Dam threatened to submerge Abu Simbel in the 1960s, the entire complex was carefully cut into massive blocks and reassembled on higher ground, a modern miracle of preservation. Today, Abu Simbel remains a monument to human determination and divine ambition, a place where history, faith, and stone stand united beneath the endless desert sun. Across the plains of central Myanmar stretches Bagan, a landscape unlike any other on Earth. Thousands of ancient temples and pagodas rising from the mist, their golden spires catching the first light of dawn. For miles, the horizon shimmers with sacred monuments, silent witnesses to a kingdom that wants to find the spiritual heart of an entire region. Between the 9th and 13th centuries, Bagan flourished as the capital of the pagan empire, home to more than 10,000 temples, monasteries, and stupas. Built by kings and devoted artisans, these structures were offerings to the heavens, symbols of faith carved in brick and stone. Though earthquakes in time have reduced many to ruins, the plain remains a sea of timeless beauty. When the sun rises, soft light spills across the landscape, revealing countless spires surrounded by mist and trees. Hot air balloons drift quietly above, offering a view that feels almost dreamlike, a moment suspended between Earth and eternity. Bagan is not merely a relic of the past, it is a living monument to devotion and resilience. Each crumbling wall, each gleaming stupa tells the same story, that even as empires fade, the spirit that built them endures, etched forever into the golden plains of Myanmar. Rising dramatically from the heart of Sri Lanka's jungle stands Sigiriya, the ancient Lion Rock fortress, a colossal monolith of stone crowned with the remains of a royal citadel. Towering nearly 200 meters above the forest floor, its summit offers a view once reserved for kings. Built in the 5th century by King Kashyapa, Sigiriya was both palace and refuge, a city in the sky. At its base, symmetrical gardens, pools, and fountains reflect the ingenuity of ancient engineering. As visitors climb the rock, they pass through winding stairways, where once stood a massive stone gateway shaped like a lion. Only the paws remain today, silent and powerful guardians of this fortress in the clouds. At the summit, the ruins of royal chambers and water tanks whisper of a vanished kingdom, a dream carved in stone. When the sun sets over the surrounding plains, the Lion Rock glows in hues of gold and amber, its shadow stretching across the jungle below. Sigiriya endures as both legend and masterpiece, a symbol of ambition, artistry, and the timeless reach of human imagination. Carved into the cliffs above the Minkvari River in southern Georgia lies Vardzia, a vast cave monastery hidden within the mountain's heart. From a distance, the rock face appears like a honeycomb of shadows and openings. Hundreds of chambers, tunnels, and stairways carved by human hands more than 8 centuries ago. Built during the reign of Queen Tamar in the 12th century, Vardzia was both a sanctuary and a symbol of faith. Concealed deep within the mountain, it served as a refuge from invading armies, a hidden city of monks, soldiers, and pilgrims devoted to God and their homeland. Inside the caves lie chapels adorned with frescoes that have survived the passing centuries. Saints, angels, and Queen Tamar herself. Their colors faded, but their spirit unbroken. A network of tunnels connects living quarters, storage rooms, and hidden passageways, all carved from solid volcanic rock. Though earthquakes and time have scarred its walls, Vardzia remains a place of quiet power, a fusion of nature, faith, and endurance. When the sun sets behind the Caucasus Mountains, the cliffs glow in shades of gold and amber, and the ancient monastery seems to awaken again, a timeless reminder of devotion carved into the living rock of Georgia. In the vast emptiness of the Pacific Ocean lies Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, one of the most remote inhabited places on Earth. Scattered across its windswept plains stand nearly 900 colossal stone figures known as moai. Their solemn faces turned toward the land as if guarding the spirits of those who came before. Carved between the 13th and 16th centuries by the Polynesian settlers of Rapa Nui, each moai was a tribute to an ancestor, a link between the living and the divine. Some weigh over 70 tons, their sheer size and precision a testament to extraordinary skill and belief. The statues were transported from quarries miles away, moved by methods that still puzzle historians today. When the island's resources began to dwindle, the civilization that built these monuments declined, leaving behind a haunting legacy carved in volcanic stone. Today, the Moai stand in silence beneath the endless sky, their features weathered by wind and time. The island is quiet but alive with memory, a place where mystery and beauty merge. In their stillness, the Moai seem to speak of pride, reverence, and the enduring human desire to leave a mark that will outlast the sea and the centuries. In the heart of the Persian plateau, where the mountains meet the desert, lie the monumental ruins of Persepolis, the ancient ceremonial capital of the Achaemenid Empire. Once a city of dazzling grandeur, it was built to honor the kings who ruled the greatest empire of its age, and to embody the vision of harmony among its many peoples. Founded by Darius the Great in the 6th century BCE, Persepolis rose from stone and sunlight. Vast terraces crowned with palaces, columns and gateways adorned with carvings of kings, warriors, and envoys from every corner of the empire. At its heart stood the Gate of All Nations, a majestic entrance guarded by winged bulls that welcomed visitors from lands stretching from Egypt to India. Here, festivals of kingship and faith unfolded, where fire altars burned and golden processions celebrated Persian unity and divine power. But in 330 BCE, Alexander the Great's armies swept across the land, and the city was consumed by fire. What remains today are its silent columns and intricate reliefs, fragments of a dream carved into stone. Under the vast Iranian sky, Persepolis endures as both a ruin and a symbol, a reminder of an empire that once sought to rule not through fear, but through vision, order, and majesty. Rising from the mist-covered jungles of central Java stands Borobudur, the world's largest Buddhist temple, a mountain of stone that seems to emerge from the earth itself. Built more than 1,200 years ago, it remains one of humanity's greatest expressions of faith, carved with extraordinary precision and grace. Composed of over 2 million stone blocks, Borobudur is a vast mandala in 3 dimensions, a sacred diagram symbolizing the path to enlightenment. Its terraces spiral upward through 9 levels, each decorated with countless reliefs and statues of the Buddha, guiding the pilgrim from the world of desire toward the realm of wisdom and peace. At the summit, 72 bell-shaped stupas encircle a central dome, their latticed openings revealing serene faces of stone, gazing into eternity. When morning light breaks through the mist, the temple glows in shades of gold and silver, as if touched by something divine. For centuries, Borobudur lay hidden beneath volcanic ash and jungle growth, forgotten by time until its rediscovery in the 19th century. Today it stands once again in silent majesty, a monument to spiritual devotion, human ingenuity, and the eternal search for harmony between heaven and earth. Etched into the rolling hills of Oxfordshire, visible for miles across the English countryside, lies the Uffington White Horse, a mysterious figure carved into the chalk over 3,000 years ago. Sleek and abstract, it gallops silently across the hillside, its flowing lines gleaming white against the green earth. Believed to date back to the late Bronze Age, this ancient geoglyph is one of Britain's oldest and most enigmatic symbols. No one knows exactly who created it or why. Some say it honored a local tribal god, others that it marked a sacred site or a powerful clan's emblem. Whatever its purpose, the horse has endured. Its shape maintained by countless generations who protected it from being reclaimed by the land. From above, it looks almost alive, as if frozen mid-stride, racing through time itself. Beneath it lies a landscape steeped in legend, the Dragon Hill, where St. George is said to have slain his foe, and ancient burial mounds that whisper of forgotten peoples. The Uffington White Horse remains a symbol of mystery and continuity, a timeless mark of human expression cut deep into the living earth, where myth, art, and landscape merge into one enduring vision beneath the endless English sky. Beneath the shadow of Mount Vesuvius lies Pompeii, an ancient Roman city frozen in time. Once alive with laughter, trade, and the rhythm of daily life, it now stands in eerie silence. Its streets, homes, and temples preserved beneath layers of volcanic ash for nearly 2,000 years. In the summer of 79 CE, disaster struck without warning. The mountain erupted with unimaginable force, sending clouds of fire and ash cascading over the city. In a matter of hours, Pompeii vanished beneath the darkness, its people caught mid-motion, their final moments sealed in stone. When the city was rediscovered in the 18th century, archaeologists uncovered an entire world perfectly preserved. Frescoes still bright with color, loaves of bread still resting in ancient ovens, and the haunting plaster forms of those who perished. Walking through its narrow streets today feels like stepping through a doorway in time. The amphitheater still echoes with distant voices. The villas still whisper stories of luxury and loss. Pompeii is more than a ruin. It is a memory made visible, a silent testament to the fragility of life and the unstoppable power of nature. Under the Italian sun, it endures as both tragedy and triumph, a city that died, yet was never truly lost. Rising from the plains of central Java stands Prambanan, a breathtaking complex of towering stone spires dedicated to the gods of Hinduism. Built in the 9th century, this ancient temple ensemble was crafted to honor the divine trinity: Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer, their names echoing through the intricate carvings that adorn every wall. At its heart stands the great temple of Shiva Mahadeva, soaring nearly 50 meters into the sky. Around it, smaller shrines encircle the central courtyard like celestial guardians, each carved with astonishing detail. Scenes from the Ramayana, floral motifs, and mythic creatures frozen forever in stone. Centuries of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions have scarred the temples, yet Prambanan still stands, a monument to devotion and resilience. At sunrise, the first light casts long shadows across the ancient stones, and the air fills with the sound of birds and distant prayer. Once forgotten beneath the overgrowth, Prambanan was rediscovered and restored, revealing the brilliance of a civilization that merged faith, art, and architecture into perfect harmony. Today, its spires pierce the Javanese sky as they did more than 1,000 years ago. A timeless tribute to humanity's longing for the divine and the enduring beauty of what we build in its name. Carved into the sun-baked cliffs above the Mitvari River lies Uplistsikhe, one of the oldest urban settlements in Georgia, a city hewn entirely from stone. Its name means Fortress of the Lord, and from a distance the caves appear as shadows in the rock, blending seamlessly with the landscape that has held them for more than 3,000 years. Once a thriving center of trade, religion, and culture, Uplistsikhe was carved directly into the sandstone by ancient hands. Its winding tunnels, carved halls, and rock-cut streets reveal a civilization that predated Christianity, once devoted to sun worship and ancient deities. Later, it became a fortress city along the Silk Road, a sanctuary for kings and travelers crossing the Georgian plains. Temples, wine cellars, and dwellings remain, along with a theater carved from the living rock, silent echoes of a people whose lives were intertwined with the stone itself. From the top of the citadel, the view stretches across the valley, vast and timeless. as if the past still lingers in the air. Though time and invasions have weathered its walls, Uplasike endures, a place where myth and history meet, where every chamber and corridor tells the story of Georgia's ancient spirit carved deep into the heart of the mountain. In the heart of Thailand, where rivers weave through emerald plains, lie the haunting ruins of Ayutthaya, a once glorious capital that stood as one of the greatest cities in Asia. Founded in the 14th century, it became the center of a thriving kingdom that connected distant empires through trade, diplomacy, and faith. For more than 400 years, Ayutthaya flourished. Grand palaces, golden temples, and towering stupas reflected the power and grace of a civilization devoted to art and spirituality. The city's harbors were filled with merchants from Japan, India, Persia, and Europe, all drawn by its wealth and beauty. In 1767, the Burmese army invaded, and Ayutthaya was consumed by fire. The once shining city collapsed into silence, its temples shattered, its treasures lost. Yet even in ruin, its spirit endures. Rows of stone Buddhas sit in quiet meditation, their faces calm beneath the open sky, and the remains of ancient prangs rise like echoes of devotion against the horizon. Today, Ayutthaya stands as a vast open-air monument, a place where time seems to pause, where the red bricks of fallen temples glow in the sunlight, and where visitors can still sense the grandeur of a kingdom that believed beauty and faith could defy even the march of centuries. High in the sacred valley of the Andes lies Pisac, a place where stone terraces cling to the mountainside and the whispers of the Inca still linger in the wind. Overlooking the Urubamba River far below, this ancient citadel blends perfectly with the landscape, a masterpiece of harmony between nature and human design. Built in the 15th century, Pisac was more than a fortress. It was a royal estate, a ceremonial center, and an agricultural marvel. Its terraces cascade down the mountainside, carved with precision to harness the power of the sun and the rain. At its summit stand the remnants of temples and observatories, where priests once studied the movements of the stars and honored the gods of the mountains. The stones of Pisac fit together with the same perfection seen at Machu Picchu, each one cut and placed so precisely that time itself cannot pull them apart. Below the ruins, the modern village of Pisac carries the rhythm of daily life, its markets filled with color, song, and the legacy of ancient hands. As the sun sets behind the peaks, the terraces glow with golden light, and the valley grows still. Pisac remains what it has always been, a place of beauty, balance, and quiet devotion, where the spirit of the Andes endures among the stones. Carved high into the limestone cliffs above the Dalian River lie the tombs of Kaunos, ancient resting places of Lycian kings and nobles who once ruled these lands more than 2,000 years ago. Their facades, shaped like miniature temples, gaze silently across the valley, their columns and pediments etched with the precision of a vanished age. Each tomb was carved directly into the rock, meant to bring the souls of the dead closer to the heavens. Inside, narrow chambers hold the space where bodies once rested, surrounded by offerings for the journey beyond. From below, the tombs seem unreachable, suspended between earth and sky, a reflection of the Lycian belief that the spirit should rise freely toward eternity. The setting is serene. The cliffs rise in quiet majesty, surrounded by the soft rustle of wind and the call of distant birds. As the day fades, golden light spills across the rock, and the tombs emerge from shadow, their carved faces glowing with warmth, unchanged for millennia. The tombs of Kaunos stand as timeless witnesses to faith, craftsmanship, and the human desire to be remembered. Even now, in the quiet of the Turkish hills, they speak without words, a conversation between the living and the eternal, carved deep into the mountain's heart. Across the barren plains of southern Peru stretch the Nazca lines, vast geoglyphs etched into the desert floor more than 1,500 years ago. From above, they form enormous shapes, hummingbirds, monkeys, spiders, and spirals so immense they can only be seen from the sky. Created by the ancient Nazca civilization between 500 BCE and 500 CE, these mysterious lines were made by removing the dark, sunburned stones of the desert surface to reveal the pale earth beneath. For centuries they have endured, untouched by wind and rain, preserved by the dry silence of the Atacama Desert. Their purpose remains a mystery. Some believe they were celestial maps, others that they mark sacred paths or messages to the gods above. Whatever their meaning, they reveal a people who looked to the heavens and sought to connect earth with sky. From the air, the patterns seem alive, elegant, deliberate, and eternal. They speak of devotion and precision, of minds who saw the desert not as emptiness, but as a vast canvas. The Nazca lines stand today as one of humanity's greatest enigmas, a message carved into the world itself, written by a civilization whose voice has faded, but whose vision still stretches across the sands of time. From the deserts of Jordan to the jungles of Cambodia, from the Andean peaks to the forgotten valleys of Anatolia, the ruins of lost civilizations remind us of who we are and who we once were. Each stone, each carving, each silent city tells the same timeless story, that everything built by human hands will one day return to the earth, but the spirit that created it endures. These places are more than remnants of the past. They are messages from time itself. They speak of ambition, faith, beauty, and the endless desire to leave a mark on the world. As we walk among their ruins, we don't just uncover history, we rediscover ourselves. Because though the cities have fallen silent, their stories still echo, whispering across centuries, reminding us that even in ruin, humanity endures.